17 children, gone without a trace. One small town, shaken to its core, and a single boy left behind. 2 years ago, in Maybrook, Pennsylvania, something happened that no one could explain. At exactly 2:17 a.m., 17 kids from the same school ran out of their homes and vanished. No signs of struggle, no clues. Only one terrifying question remained. Why? This is the story of a mystery that blurs the line between reality and the unthinkable.
Opening child's voice. 2 years ago, in Maybrook, Pennsylvania, one night at exactly 2:17 a.m., 17 children ran out of their homes and vanished without a trace. The shocking part, all 17 missing children were from the same class at Maybrook Elementary School. That class had 18 students in total, and only one remained. His name was Alex. The next day, the class teacher, Justin Gandy, walked into her classroom and found only Alex sitting there. She was stunned. Now, the parents of the missing children began blaming Justin. They claimed she must have taught them something strange, something that made them act this way. Police immediately began their investigation. Justin was questioned, then Alex was questioned multiple times as well. But both of them said the same thing. They had no idea what had happened. The police found only one strange clue. All 17 children had left at exactly 2:17 a.m. In some houses, security alarms had gone off at the exact same moment. In others, CCTV cameras clearly showed the children running, and the way they ran was unusual, almost like a Naruto run. So, friends, this was the setup of the movie. From this point onwards, the film shows the story from different characters' perspectives, and that's exactly how I'm going to explain it to you. Justin's perspective. The first perspective is from class teacher Justin. All the parents of the missing children were accusing her. The school principal, Andrew Matthews, defended her, saying she had nothing to do with it. But one parent, Archer Graff, placed the entire blame on Justin. That night, after the meeting, Justin went to a store to buy alcohol. There, she met a man named James, a drug addict. He asked her for some money. Remember this man, he'll be important later. Justin ignored him and went home quickly, afraid that an angry parent might attack her. In fact, some parents had already started calling her from unknown numbers, threatening her. The next morning, Justin found her car spray painted with a large word in red, witch. She went to the police to file a complaint. There, we meet Officer Paul, someone close to Justin. They greet each other warmly. Back at school, Justin wanted to talk to Alex, but Principal Marcus stopped her. He told her that since Alex was the only student who hadn't disappeared, he had already been interrogated many times by the police and other departments. Under pressure from the parents, Marcus advised Justin to take a break from work for a few days, otherwise things could get worse. Unwillingly, Justin agreed to go on leave, but secretly, she began following Alex. That night, Justin went to a bar where Paul met her. They talked about the recent events. Justin was clearly drunk and even offered Paul a drink. Long story short, Paul drank, and that night they ended up sleeping together. The strange part? Paul was already married. Yes, friends, his wife's name was Donna, and Justin knew it. Still, they were intimate. In fact, this wasn't the first time. Following Alex. The next day, Justin followed Alex again. She tried to talk to him, but Alex told her to stop following him and ran away. Justin didn't give up. She went to Alex's house. She knocked, but no one answered. She noticed that every window of the house was covered with paper. Through a small gap in one window, Justin could see inside. Peeking through that small gap, Justin saw something unsettling. Alex's parents were sitting on the couch, completely still, as if frozen in some kind of trance. Disturbed by what she saw, Justin quickly called Principal Marcus. She told him that he should check Alex's house in a legal way, just to make sure Alex was safe. That night, Justin parked her car outside Alex's home, keeping watch. Late into the night, she dozed off. Moments later, the door of Alex's house opened. Alex's mother stepped out, holding a pair of scissors in her hand, walking strangely towards Justin's car. Quietly, she slipped inside and snipped off a small lock of Justin's hair. Justin, still asleep, never realized what had happened. Perspective shift. Archer Graff. The point of view now shifts to a man named Archer Graff. Archer's son, Matthew, was one of the missing children. He was the same man who had shouted at Justin during the parents-teacher meeting. When Justin had gone to the liquor store, Archer had followed her. He was the one who spray-painted the word witch on her car, and he had been watching her closely because he suspected her. Archer repeatedly asked the police if they had found his son, but they had no updates. So,
Archer began investigating on his own. He kept watching the CCTV footage from the night Matthew disappeared, footage recorded by the camera outside his house. In the video, Matthew could be seen running, in that same unusual style, similar to a Naruto run, and he ran in one particular direction. Archer marked that direction on a town map. He then visited another victim's family to check their CCTV footage. This time, it was a girl named Bailey. He noted the direction she had run and drew another line on the map from her house. The two lines intersected at one point. This meant all the missing children were headed towards that same intersection and perhaps were still somewhere nearby. While doing this research, Archer suddenly spotted Justin's car at a gas station. He approached her and started yelling. But then, out of nowhere, Principal Marcus appeared, running in that same strange way the children had run. He was covered in blood and seemed to be in some kind of trance. Without warning, Marcus attacked Justin. Archer tried to stop him, but Marcus looked possessed, as if his only purpose was to kill Justin. Justin ran inside the store. Marcus pushed past Archer and chased her. Now Archer and Justin were working together, desperately trying to hold Marcus back. It was clear something had taken control of him. The scene cuts here. Nightmares. During their respective perspectives, both Justin and Archer experienced strange nightmares. In each dream, they saw an eerie old woman with the appearance of a clown. Remember this detail. Perspective shift, Officer Paul. The story now shifts again, this time to Officer Paul's perspective. On this day, Paul's wife was out of town. Paul went to the police station. This was the same day Justin came to file a complaint about her car being spray painted. Their eyes met. Justin and Paul exchanged a brief "hi." Then Paul left in his patrol car to continue his duty. On the road, he spotted James, the drug addict, trying to break into someone's house. Paul gave chase and finally managed to arrest him. During the search, Paul reached into James's pocket and felt a sharp prick from a needle. It must have been one of James's drug needles. Angered, Paul punched him. Unfortunately, the assault was recorded on his car's dash cam. If a higher officer saw it, Paul could be charged with assault and even lose his job. So Paul told James, "I'll let you go on one condition. Don't tell anyone about today and never show your face in this town again." James ran off, free. Soon after, Paul received Justin's message. Later that evening, Paul met her at a bar. That night, they were intimate. The next morning, Paul returned home, only to find his wife, Donna, had come back early. She saw him arriving from outside and instantly realized Paul had likely cheated on her with Justin. Furious, Donna confronted Justin at a store, attacking her. Justin narrowly escaped, and the store owner held Donna back. Meanwhile, Paul went to the police station and confessed the assault incident to his captain. The captain told him if James didn't file a complaint, nothing would happen, and the dash cam footage would automatically overwrite in a month. After this conversation, Paul stepped outside and saw James walking towards the station. Paul's temper flared. "I told you never to come back," he shouted, and began chasing him again. Perspective shift. James. Now the story shifts to James's point of view. James was a junkie, lying and stealing for drugs. He had even asked Justin for money that night in the liquor store. Earlier, he'd been caught by Paul while trying to break into a house. After being freed, James decided to steal items and sell them to a pawn shop for drug money. This led him to Alex's house, the only kid in Justin's class who hadn't disappeared. James broke in and began pocketing small things, kitchen items, CDs, anything he could find. Then he noticed Alex's parents were sitting motionless on the couch, completely still, as if in some kind of trance. Ignoring them, James went down to the basement, and there, he froze in shock. Standing in a trance were the 17 missing children. Suddenly, Alex's parents began walking towards him. James bolted from the house. Outside on the streets, he saw the posters of the missing kids with a $50,000 reward. Tempted by the money, James called the police and claimed he knew the children's location. The police told him if he was serious, he should come to the station to file a report, and the reward would be his. James agreed, but as he approached the station, Paul spotted him and once again gave chase. James ran into the woods, where he saw the same eerie old clown-like woman beckoning to him. He hid inside a tent, but then someone began unzipping it from outside. James stabbed at the intruder with a needle, only to realize it was Officer Paul. Enraged, Paul arrested James and locked him in the patrol car. Desperate to save himself, James told Paul he knew the location of the missing kids. James led Paul to Alex's house. Paul left James in the car and went inside to investigate. Hours passed, and Paul did not return. James kept waiting in the car until late at night when suddenly Paul returned, but now he was in a trance. Paul, still in a hypnotized state, dragged James into Alex's house. The scene cuts. Now we shift to Principal Marcus's perspective. If you remember, Justin had once called Marcus, telling him he should legally check on Alex's home to make sure the boy was okay. That conversation stuck in Marcus's mind, so he summoned Alex's parents to the school. But instead of the parents, a strange, clown-like woman arrived, introducing herself as Alex's aunt. Her name, Gladys. This was the same clown-like figure Justin and Archer had seen in the woods that night, and the same one James had also encountered. Gladys claimed Alex's parents were very sick, too ill to come meet Marcus. But Marcus insisted, "I must meet them personally, otherwise I'll have to involve child services." Gladys did not like hearing that. Later that day, at Marcus's home, he was with his husband when Gladys suddenly showed up, uninvited. She walked right in, asked for a bowl of water, then pulled out a strange piece of wood, a thorn-covered plant stem. Tied to it was a small cloth flag from Marcus's office, likely stolen from the school. She pricked her hand with the thorns, smearing her blood over the stem. Before Marcus or his husband could react, Gladys rang a tiny bell, and instantly, Marcus fell under her spell. Now completely under Gladys's control, Marcus watched as she cut a lock of his husband's hair, placed it on the stem, and then snapped the stem in two. The moment it broke, Marcus, still hypnotized, violently attacked his own husband. The assault was so brutal that Marcus's husband was killed, and Marcus himself was badly injured. Gladys then dropped the wooden stem into the water bowl, and Marcus froze in place. In short, Gladys could control anyone and use them like a targeted weapon to attack whoever she chose. And this time, her target was Justin. Remember when Alex's mother had taken Justin's hair? This was why. Gladys had been controlling Alex's parents too. Later, Marcus, still hypnotized, ran unnaturally fast toward a gas station where he attacked Justin. Archer was with her, and a fight broke out. Justin managed to get into her car, and Marcus chased her down the road, running in that same eerie, inhuman way. Archer followed until a car suddenly hit Marcus, smashing his head, killing him instantly. After this, Archer realized Justin hadn't kidnapped the children. She was also a victim. The two reconciled and decided to work together to find out where the kids were. Archer showed Justin his map, explaining his theory that the children were likely near a certain intersection point. Justin immediately recognized it. "That's Alex's house," she said. So they drove there together, parking outside to watch. The scene shifts again, this time to Alex's perspective. This is from the very beginning, before any children went missing. Alex lived with his parents, went to school every day, and was occasionally bullied. One day, his father told him that his mother's aunt Gladys would be coming to stay with them. She was supposedly very ill and had nowhere else to live. That night, Gladys arrived, extremely old and frail, seemingly at death's door, carrying a strange plant. The next day, after school, Alex walked home to find his parents sitting motionless at the dining table, speaking to him like robots. He immediately sensed something was wrong. Then Gladys appeared, but now she looked much younger and healthier. Alex realized his parents were under her control. She warned him that if he told anyone, his parents would die. She pulled out the same thorny stem, rubbed her blood on it, and began the ritual. Suddenly, Alex's parents picked up a dessert fork and started stabbing their own faces. Alex tried to stop them, but they wouldn't stop, until Gladys snapped the stem in half and dropped it into the water, making them freeze. This was her way of scaring Alex, showing him that she could kill his parents in an instant. Alex soon discovered that Gladys used this strange plant stem to hypnotize people, but she needed a personal item from them, like hair or any object they owned. Once controlled, she could feed on their life force, making herself young and strong. Alex quietly carried on with daily life, going to school, buying groceries, feeding his parents beans to keep them alive, while Gladys grew younger. But one day she fell ill again and told Alex that if he brought her something personal from each of his classmates, she would free him and his parents. The next day, Alex stole the name stickers from all his classmates' trays. That night, Gladys used them in her ritual, which finished exactly at 2:17 a.m. She rang the bell and 17 children left their homes and walked straight to Alex's house, gathering in the basement. And that's how the 17 children went missing. There were press conferences afterward, and Gladys stayed by Alex's side, ensuring he stayed silent. Even when police searched the house, Gladys had already cleaned everything and hidden the children in the forest. When the search was over, they returned to the basement, still under her control. Although Alex had kept his end of the deal, Gladys didn't keep hers. She neither left nor freed his parents. She treated Alex like a servant. By this time, both Paul and James had also been hypnotized, likely after entering the house. Gladys had drawn salt lines inside and forbidden Alex from crossing them. Now, all timelines merge into one. Outside, Archer and Justin are watching the house. At Gladys's command, Paul steps outside and signals Justin to come in. As soon as Justin and Archer cross the salt line, the hypnotized Paul and James attack them. No matter how much they were hit, they kept getting back up, until Justin shot Paul in the head, killing him, and then did the same to James, saving Archer. From this, they realize the only way to kill a hypnotized person is by destroying the head. Archer goes into the basement where he finds the 17 children standing in a trance. He searches for his son Matthew, but Gladys appears, cuts Archer's hair, and hypnotizes him too. Archer now attacks Justin. Meanwhile, Alex in his room crosses a salt line near his possessed parents. They immediately chase him, but Alex runs into Gladys's ritual room. There, he breaks off a stem from her plant, pulls a strand of hair from her wig, adds his own blood to the stem, and snaps it in half. Yes, Alex had learned her ritual and used it against her. Suddenly, the 17 possessed children turn on Gladys and start chasing her through the city. Everyone watches as the kids corner her and attack, tearing her apart. Within seconds, they shred her body to pieces. With Gladys gone, everyone is freed from her control. Yes, Archer also regains consciousness, and Justin survives as well. Since Archer was hypnotized only for a short time, he recovered completely, but the others who had been under hypnosis for a long period had turned into something like living corpses, just like those 17 children and Alex's parents. Here, Archer finally reunites with his son Matthew, although Matthew doesn't speak at all. Once again, through a voiceover, we are told that even after 2 years, Alex's parents have not recovered. In fact, they still have to be fed. Alex now lives with another aunt, a kind and normal one. As for the children, they too remain silent. Although after about a year, some of them have begun to recover and have started speaking again. At this point, the film ends. So friends, that was the story of Weapons, and it was truly a mind-blowing movie. The direction of the film was especially amazing. Now, I know you might have some doubts here. So let's go deeper into the story and answer your questions. Chronologically, Gladys was a woman who claimed to be Alex's mother's aunt. She came to live in their house. Then she hypnotized Alex's parents and began feeding on their life force, which made her younger and healthier, but that wasn't enough. She fell ill again, so she blackmailed Alex into helping her hypnotize his classmates as well, which gave her more strength. When her truth began to come out, she planned to leave the city. But that's when Justin and Archer arrived at Alex's house. Then a lot of chaos broke out, but in the end, Alex gathered the courage to use Gladys's own ritual against her, destroying her. Now, the big question is, how did Gladys's ritual work and what was her real purpose? In this ritual, Gladys needed a personal item from her victim, such as their hair, a piece of clothing, or even their nameplate. She would then tie this item to the stem of her special plant, rub her own blood on it, and ring a bell. At that moment, her victim would fall completely under her control. A hypnotized person could then attack others on her command, especially when she broke the stem. If the stem was prepared with the target's personal item, breaking it would trigger the attack. Dropping the stem into water would stop the attack. Gladys did all this because she was extremely old, perhaps even hundreds of years old, and survived by feeding on others' life force to keep herself alive and healthy. She fed on Alex's parents for a long time, which is why even after her death, they didn't recover. Their life force had been consumed to such an extent that it couldn't be restored. Some of the children, however, began recovering after a year because she hadn't fed on them completely. As for Archer, he recovered instantly because his hypnosis was very recent, so it didn't affect him long term. In this film, Gladys used people as her personal weapons. For example, she used Marcus to attack Justin, and Marcus chased her like a laser-guided missile, which is why the movie is called Weapons. In fact, there was also a nightmare scene where Archer saw a gun floating in the air with 217 written on it, the same time when Gladys had performed her ritual. Another question is, who exactly was Gladys? In the movie, we are told that she was Alex's mother's aunt, but I believe she was even older than that. She was some kind of witch who somehow became connected to the family and caused chaos throughout the city. Where did she get that powerful plant from? Well, the movie never tells us. But judging by how popular this film has become, I'm pretty sure we'll see a prequel someday. Overall, Gladys was like a parasite, living off the life force of others. In fact, the movie subtly hinted at this right in the beginning when Justin was teaching her class about parasites. People in the movie accused Justin of inappropriate behavior because she used to hug her students and sometimes drop them home, which parents felt crossed boundaries. But Justin genuinely cared for the children. Yes, she had a drinking problem and a past accusation of driving under the influence, but despite that, she was not a bad person at heart. Archer, too, never gave up after losing his son Matthew, and in the end, he got him back. Another strange thing is that Archer and Justin began having nightmares about Gladys even before they had ever met her. How is that possible? Well, it was due to Gladys's supernatural influence. Her powers were so strong that they could affect people even without direct contact. Even James had seen Gladys in the jungle when he had entered that house. In short, Gladys's ritual wasn't just limited to physical control. She could also psychologically torment people. Archer and Justin were both victims of her crimes, which is why they experienced her visions and nightmares. So yes, I hope I've explained the whole story clearly, and if you still have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe because we bring you videos like this regularly.